We on. Good evening, good evening. How you guys doing out there? This Mike back with the From Pain to Purpose podcast, episode 18. I got a very, very special guest tonight. No other than Cassey Gross. How you doing, Cassey? What's going on with you tonight?
I'm fine. How you doing?
I'm great. I'm great. Happy to have you on tonight. Um, and I just want to talk about how I was just she's one of my coworkers um at New Hope, and one day I was sitting and I just saw her passion for her doing her job, and I know somebody like that has that kind of passion had to have some kind of story to like propel her to really want to go hard like this. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about what I went through, and I thought that, like, yo, I went through a lot, and then you told me what you went through, and then I was quickly humbled. I was quickly humbled, like, yo, and you just really standing here, like, really just decided to come work here. You know what I'm saying? And right then and there, I said I got to get you on the podcast because I think your story can help a lot of people. So thanks for coming on tonight.
Thank you. You're welcome.
No doubt. So let's start from the beginning. Let's talk about how was it growing up in Asbury Park? Like, we get the picture of the beach, but what was really going on inside Asbury Park?
Growing up in Asbury, like as a kid, is different than now. But like we had like a hard time. It was a struggle, but our struggle always brought everybody together as one. Like, um, if we ain't have this, we still have family that can make ends meet. But
Mm-hmm.
it was a struggle. So like every day, we didn't have like playgrounds really like that or like places to go but the Boys and Girls Club. Like some days we made things, more happy for us. Like what we went through was pain, but we knew
Mm.
how to turn our pain into happiness by any little thing that was positive in our growing up. But we did have a few people that did, really cared about how we, was raised and what to do next and what should we do so this person won't go crossing the negative path. But it was hard, but we seen our family struggle, the
Mm.
parents, our uncles and them struggle, and they still made it through with a smile, and they never really showed us the sign of weakness. So we had to become the same as them. As like if it's a struggle, like don't show weakness, don't cry, fight for what you need to get to. So it was hard, but it made us who I am today. It made me have more strength.
Mm. Take me to your family dynamic. Like, how many of y'all was in the house? Was your mom married? Like, take us through that whole family dynamic.
So my mom had 5 kids. My sister stayed with her dad in Virginia. She comes up here and there, but inside the household was three of us. And like my mom used to do anything to make sure we was good, from
Mm.
boosting, us having, whatever clothes we needed. She always was making sure that we wasn't struggling for nothing. Like we lived in cars before because she didn't have places
Mm.
to go at the time, hotels where our clothes was always in the car, but we always made sure we was fresh going to school. It was a struggle. It was a one parent. She was our mother and father, so we had no father in the household. So she had to be tough for not just the boys, but also I was part of a boy, not the female. I had to
Mm.
learn tough role. I had to, take care of my brothers, and my brother had to take care of me. So I never had that side where I was, soft, like a female
Mm.
soft. It was always had to be tough.
Mm.
Um, School was like something real big for my mom. Like she didn't care what we did. She cared what we did outside, but more so she wanted us to focus on school no matter what the situation was, right? So that was like an outlet to us because half the time, like my mom was there, she worked, but she still boosted. So half the time it was always us in the house, just the siblings.
Mm. Mm.
We did have family. Me personally, I wasn't close with, some of my family. 'Cause I always was like the person that isolated. Always was like the person that didn't want to be around people. I was a loner. But like I had my father wasn't around, but I had a father, which was my grandfather. I killed. His name was Junior Mack. He was a father figure to me. So it was a lot of things that I would go to him for advice. Um, but that was something that I had to, deal with as a kid. Is like just want with a mom that's going through what she going through, but still making sure we happy, making sure we got this, making sure we have that. But deep down inside, she was broken, but she never wanted us to see
Mm,
she was broken or she wasn't strong. She was, weak at a time. We could never see that side because she always was the one that just was so tough and didn't want us to show, want us to see her emotions. So I think that rubbed off on us.
mm, mm. Now, did you have any kind of relationship with your father at all? Like, was it like, did you have a relationship with his side of the family, like, or was just not was that just non-existent?
So the grandma, yeah, him, no. Um,
Mm,
like I don't know, maybe when I was a kid, baby or something, but as like, preteen and all of that or adolescent, no, no.
wow, wow, wow. How
Like,
did that make you feel during that time?
like he always was in jail, right?
Okay,
So
okay, okay.
whenever he come out, he try to come see me here and there. But it played a part in my life because it was just like I felt like he didn't care about,
Mm,
like he wasn't there for me. I was a kid. I wasn't. I didn't want it. Y'all brought me in this world. I
mm-hmm,
just was here, but I felt like my siblings, my dad's siblings too, was like basically the ones that try to keep in contact and make sure we know each other. But I feel like the streets was more of his family than me. So it played a
mm.
major part in my life.
Take us to the street aspect, like of growing up in Asbury. Like you say that played a part in his life. Like how prevalent me being from Trenton, we had our things going on out there, and I wasn't really. I was more into sports and things of that nature. Like you know what I'm saying. But I had some friends that went that route. Um, when was it time when you like decided to like come off the porch? What I was saying, and then indulge in some activities and things of that nature.
Um, I want to say like when I was in a drill team at a young age, like
Mm.
that was an outlet, but it also was, we going to practice, we doing this. That's when it becomes drinking, going to little house parties and things like that. That's when I feel like I really came off the porch and started seeing other things that I started being attracted to, which was at a young age wasn't meant for us to be doing, but it it was an outlet from just feeling lonely or feeling like nobody really wanted you, like or just
Mm.
it was just like isolate and just made it more depression, but depressing for me. But going there, drunk, we went to house parties. We stayed out all night. We told our moms that we was going to one friend house, but we were
Yeah.
somewhere else. So that's when everything started like unraveling because it was like I like to drink. I'm young. I'm like 20.
Mhm.
I'm young drinking.
Uh-huh.
I'm
Uh-huh.
young. I'm drinking everything under the sun. But
Mm.
that was an outlet for me. That gave like whatever pain I was feeling or whatever I thought
Mhm.
it was going for the moment, and
Yeah.
when the fighting started, fighting everybody else, being in our little cheer drill team group, having beef with other people, like, that it was exciting at that time because we would just all everybody fought. Like we see somebody we ain't like a group, they ain't like us. That was something that, you know, went on. But the fighting part carried all the way to like people knowing like, oh, she like to fight, oh, she this, oh, now it's come to judging like, oh, all she want to do is fight, all she show is anger, but nobody knew
Mm.
pain or what I was going through because I never once told nobody like the things that I've ever been through. I just kept it to myself.
Yeah, yeah. So then you start to get into relationships, like, and you end up having your daughter. Like, take us through how you met your baby father and like what was all that whole dynamic like.
So I met my baby father through one of my guy best friends. I ain't know him. So the thing was like we started dating and it got serious. But like I say, you really don't know nobody until you like deep in a relationship with somebody. A person can perpetrate an image that's not really them. But
Mhm.
I was young. You know, we all young. We all, like they say, young and dumb sometimes, and you learn from it. So we started dating. I was 12 when I was dating him, and I ended up having my baby at 14, 15, and then the abuse came. So I had
Mm.
my daughter at 15. Like nobody in my family never knew that I was getting abused. I was getting abused,
Mm.
beat on, stabbed, pistol whipped. Nobody knew all of that. I kept it to myself. I didn't tell nobody until it got real worse to the point where it was, I was like, I'm tired. But like my family never knew I was, going lying saying that I got a black eye from fighting or um this happened to me because I was trying to break up stuff. It was like excuses I was given about why I had bruises on me or why this happened or why that happened. Because I was too afraid. As
Mm.
like a lot of people don't understand. They feel like, oh, you need to leave the relationship. What is so hard? Why you can't leave the relationship? Why you keep going back to this? A lot of females never been in an abusive relationship, so they would never understand those that have been in an abusive relationship. It comes fear. It comes
Mm.
a person threatening you saying that they're gonna kill you or they're gonna do this. So what would you do? You're gonna stay somewhere because you don't want this to happen to you because you want to live. So it's a lot of things like stigma on it where though like a lot of people that don't understand or been through it don't understand like the concept of it or why we go back until you fed up
Mm.
until it's just like you get older. I was young, so I didn't know until I got to the point of the stage in my life when I was like, listen, enough is enough. Now I need to speak. I need to talk about it, opposed to keep on, hiding it. Not only that, it was happening in front of my daughter. It was
Mhm.
so much that like my daughter didn't know all of that. She was young, so a lot of stuff happened, like through all of that. But
Mm.
it it made me stronger, but it also made me like hate men
Mm.
in the aspect. Like once the relationship was over, like I didn't like want nobody to touch me or like I didn't like hugs.
Mhm.
It was just so much. Like I would get defensive real quick when somebody like even a voice get higher. Like
Yeah.
mean that they yelling at me, but now I feel attacked. So now I feel like I gotta get you before you get me, and not knowing that
Mhm.
some of these people is not the abuser. So
Mm.
it went on for a long time throughout my life. But
What happened to at that point? Take me to that point where it was done, and like you knew it was done because a lot of women out here might have to use the same kind of tactics that you use to get out. Like, how did you get it done with, and how did you get away, and how did you overcome the fear?
so just in thinking about stuff, like thinking of like the pros and the cons, I always outweigh the pros and the cons. But I always said to myself, like, my life is more important than somebody doing this to me. Like, I don't want to die behind something that I could get out of. Like
Mm.
it's not only that you have friends and you have people that know but don't know what's really going on. That's telling you like, listen, you deserve more. Why stay in this relationship? You don't want to hear
Mm.
that at the time, but when you fed up and you just tired of you mentally drained and you just tired of everything, I just said, you know what? I gotta go. I like it was the last straw. Was like enough of somebody beating on me, enough of somebody about to kill me because of their insecurities or they
Mhm.
esteem or things like that. But that also put me in a place where I felt like I have very low self esteem.
Mhm.
I didn't
Mhm.
think I was pretty. I didn't think I could do this. I didn't think I was worth the things that I'm worth now. But that at a young age, I'm vulnerable. I don't know. This is my first relationship that I ever had. I never been in a relationship, so I don't know nothing. But you just gotta fight. Like if you fight, you will get out. If you won't fight and you just sit there and keep on letting it happen, it's gonna keep on letting it's gonna keep on going because men really some like nowadays it happens, but back in the day it wasn't gonna happen. That just was a fear for me to stay and not leave. So
Mhm.
it was
Mhm.
their fear tactics that the abuser used, so you won't go nowhere. Or you won't do this, or you won't do that. And I was fed up, and I was just like, I got a daughter, and I don't want my daughter to go through or think that a man beating on her is okay, and it's not.
Mhm.
So it was
Mhm.
just. At this point, I'm fighting for my daughter. I ain't fighting for me right now. Until I'm healed, then I'm able to fight. But right now, I need to fight for my child. So that's how I got out of it.
Now, with all of this going on, at this is that age, you still getting things done in school and everything.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. What gave you the strength to be able to have a daughter, be in this kind of relationship, and go to school and still get stuff done?
Because school was like an outlet.
Mm.
Like everything is blurred out. Like when I was in school, I didn't think about what I was going through in my household, what somebody was doing to me. I just had to focus on the important part of like, okay, I like school, I like this, so let me put all of whatever I'm going through, hurt or pain, into something that I really love. And
Hmm.
them couple of hours away from things or a couple of hours away from home was my peace, so
Mm.
that was like my sanctuary. So that was something where like, all right, let me go to school, let me go here for a couple of hours and stuff like that. So that's really was like my outlet.
Now you out, you in school, things going. Um, you applying to colleges. You got accepted to a college in Virginia, and things seem to be going down the right road for in terms of a future. You about to set up a future where you could have something nice for you and your daughter, and then things went totally left.
Hmm.
Like, take us to how your whole life shifted.
So my mom had moved down to Virginia for
Mm-hmm.
us to get away from things that was going on around our way. I started hanging with negative people. So I had two group of friends. I
Mm-hmm.
had a group of friends that I was with since I was young, like, and we did everything together. They was always a positive friends. Then I ended up dealing with friends and family that was straight on some negative stuff and doing
Mm-hmm.
things that they wasn't. So it was so much going on around that time that my mom moved to Virginia that like fighting, stabbings, like me getting stabbed. It was a lot. It was a lot. So when my mom moved to Virginia, I never went with her. I still stayed.
Mm.
I still stayed in Asbury. All her kids still stayed in Asbury except one. Um, Fearing to leave. All I know
Mm.
is here. I don't
Mm-hmm.
know what's beyond Asbury. So I always like was afraid until like one of my friends got killed.
Mm.
One of my best friends got
Sorry to
killed,
hear that.
and I think that put me in like in a bad space because I was really close with him. So I end up leaving and going to Virginia. So for the weeks I was in Virginia, I was sitting there. I signed up for Virginia State for college, and I waited until I got accepted or whatever. I never knew I got accepted until I was homesick and I came back to Asbury, and
Mm.
then I got the call that I got accepted to the college. I ended up never making it to the college, so I got accepted in, I want to say October, and I end up locked up in December.
Wow. What happened in between October and December that got you in jail for a conspiracy to murder charge?
So in between that, like I said, the negative group of friends I was with, um, a girl got killed walking with them. I wasn't there, but then was my group of friends that cops. Everybody know we all were hung around. She ended up getting killed. I was somewhere babysitting. So like I said, at a young age, we don't know the law. So after the situation happened, they called me. She tell me what happened. I don't think I'm gonna get in trouble because somebody told me what happened after the fact. So I'm still not knowing, like I can go to jail for conspiracy because she told me what happened, but I
Mm-hmm.
never reported it.
Mm-hmm.
Growing up, loyalty is everything. You don't
Mm-hmm.
talk. I definitely wasn't going to the cops and tell the cops, oh, this what happened when So they get locked. One of them get locked up. It was three. It was three females. One of them get locked up. They still not looking for me. So I'm like, all right, I'm still trying to figure out, what's going on, whatever. The second person get locked up, still not thinking me. And then the prosecutors had came to my grandmother's house. They called me, and I'm like, they want to talk to you. I'm like in my head, like, I ain't going down there. I ain't got
Mm-hmm.
nothing
Mm-hmm.
to say. And y'all ain't gonna set me up to get locked up. So I'm like, I ain't. They gonna have to catch me.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm still not going down there. They still harassing my family, harassing my family. I'm still not going down there. I'm like, I'm not going down there. That's it. I ain't got nothing to say no more. So I end up calling an attorney because now I need to know: do I have to go down there, or I
Yeah.
don't have to go down there? And the attorney
Yeah.
basically like, listen, you don't have to go down there because you're not charged for anything. So I'm like, okay. So I'm still walking around like nothing happened. So now the attorney was like, come in. I end up going to the attorney office. I'm in there. They talking. The secretary coming was like, they got the building surrounded.
What?
I'm like, what? So I'm confused. So I'm like, all right, well, ain't got nothing to do with me at this time. I'm like, cause I ain't do shit. Now I end up going out soon as I walked outside the door. They didn't let the car stop. They were still rolling. They just jumped out. You under arrest? I'm like, under arrest for what? They was like, we gotta take you to the prosecutor's office. And I ended up at the prosecutor's office. And once I got in the prosecutor's office, it was just like, do you have anything to say? No, I don't know. Why am I here? Like, I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't here. Why I'm here? They was like, you charged with conspiracy to murder.
Mm.
I said, all right. And I ain't never make it to my county. I went all the way to Atlantic County.
Mm. What's
Like,
going through your like mind when all of this is going on? Like, what's like? Take me to that moment. Like, what's going on?
like when they said the charge, like I was sick. But as I was sick, I still gotta show like whatever. Like I don't what it is what it is. Like like I'm sick inside though, but I'm still playing this tough role because now I have to hold an image up that I'm not scared. This and that. Like it was just so much going through my mind. Like damn, my life is ended. I got a daughter that's 3 years old.
Mm.
Like what? I'm college. Everything started hitting me, and I'm like, am I really going to jail for something that I really didn't have anything, never seen, never witnessed? And that's when, like, I stayed in the police department for one
Mm-hmm.
day,
Mm-hmm.
freezing cold, and then they sent me straight to Atlantic County.
When you was there, did they tell you like you had they did they ask you any questions and said like you got a chance to get out of this? You could tell us this or anything like that. Did they even present that kind of opportunity to you?
So no, the opportunity was yeah. Well, that they like oh well. Do you know what happened or no? It wasn't like oh you know what happened. You can get out. No, you know what happened. No, I don't know what happened. All right, well this is where you going. This is the charge. I'm like, okay.
Wow.
I
Wow.
was more so sick because of this was like we do so like I did so much and it was like fighting just whatever. I did so much that I'm in my head like I'm really going down for some shit I have to do that I didn't do.
Mm.
But the things that I did do, I never like and it started playing in my head, but I'm just like, like I gotta do what I gotta do. I know I ain't had nothing to do with it. I gotta let it all play out. Go to Atlantic County.
So you ain't even get a chance to like say bye to your daughter or let your family know or say bye to
No,
your family in
no,
person or none of that?
the only person like my mom was at the door kicking the prosecutor door, like kicking it, kicking, boom, boom, boom. They told her she keep kicking, she wanted there. But I didn't have a chance to talk to nobody. I didn't have a chance to say nothing to nobody, like anything. Like nobody knew where I was at for days. Like nobody,
Wow.
they know where I was at for like I want to say 4 days. Once I got to Atlantic County, nobody knew where I was at.
So now you get down in Atlantic County and you were in their county jail. What's the next process? Do you gotta like decide if you're going to trial or do you gotta like plead? Like what goes on from there?
So once I get down there, like once you get down there, and you have that high profile charge. I was on suicide watch for 2 days.
Mm.
Yeah, for 2 days. Um, and then it's just like I don't know nobody. I ain't never been in Atlantic County. I don't know nobody down here. I don't even know where I'm at in Atlantic County. So at this point, I just have to wait. I have to. go to court, get processed for the charges. Like it was like I was in the county for 4.5 years.
Oh, how did you end up in Atlantic County? That's where the situation happened at.
No, because I had co-defendants, so they kind of split everybody up.
Oh, okay,
They
okay,
split
okay.
everything up.
So you down there in Atlantic County? Why did it take so long for them to the like? Why did they have you down there for so long?
So it's like a, I guess it's like a process. I guess a process. So first when I went down there, they had me like planted in the middle of it, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, she was there, she seen something. The third girl never got locked up. I got locked up in the third girl place. The
Mm.
third girl that was there, that seen it, was always free. I
Mm.
was the one they just grabbed, and then it was like, okay, she had something to do with it. She was there. Then when they come to find out I was not there, now they gotta do another whole process of me waiting another. It was just like uh, go a back and forth, back and forth, back and forth thing. So when you got co-defendants and all type of stuff going on, you gotta wait until see who plea out, who taking what, and
Wow.
that's why it was so long.
During this time, what kind of strain is that putting on your family and everything that's going on at home?
It was a strain because my mom had to move back from Virginia, so
Wow.
that was like a big thing from her. Like I felt like I was the reason why she moved back. I'm the reason why like she don't want to be here. Like I felt like I was the reason for that. Not only that, it's just like my family had to drive an hour and something. The first I want to say couple months, my grandfather, the one that was my father, got
Hmm.
shot and killed.
Wow.
Um, So it was a lot. It was a lot going on with my family, like even with like just phone calls, commissary, everything. Like they was taking $50 out of my money every month. Like it was a lot going on. And the more I think the more I said, the more angry I got.
Mm.
The more angry I got. Then I'm up there. They asked me, "Is my daddy coming to get me?" Who the fuck is that? Come to find out, they all pips and holes. It was stuff that I ain't never even like witnessed here. And
Mm.
when I got there, you got hoes coming in here talking about they pimps coming to bed. It was just like draining. Like it made me like it also made me look at other people's lifestyle where they say cultural lifestyles, but other people's lifestyles than my lifestyle. Like I was stuck in an environment where we had to struggle, but our struggle always made us better and made us win, but made us stronger. Where I go down here and these people is getting pimped out by somebody and used and abused by somebody, even though I was abused by it, but it wasn't like how what they was doing. So that jail had showed me so many different things and put it in so many different aspects.
Oh man, it froze. I hope
So
she.
I'm going through a worse situation. I'm looking at them like they
Yeah,
going through a worse situation.
yeah. That that
So
that I went through the same kind of thing too when I was deep in going through what I was going through, and I um never actually got arrested. So like my heart goes out to you having to be there. But I was in so much pain, it made me understand how like people could use heroin and stuff like that. Cause I was like, how could somebody ever stick a needle in their arm? But when that pain is deep, you get
yeah.
what I'm saying? Now it had me where I would never judge nobody for anything they do because I don't know their story. Like I didn't know your story. Now
Mm-hmm.
I'm sitting there like, yo, you know what I'm saying? So what's the next phase when they finally say, all right, you got this amount of time and you're gonna go to this state prison? Like, take me to that moment.
So so I had a court date. But my court date wasn't coming up. So it was this one particular morning. They woke me up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, like court. And I'm like, court. So I'm all scared. I don't go to court until next month. They're like, no, you gotta go to court. Now I'm thinking like, cause sometimes they come get you and I don't have court, and they drive me all the way to Monmouth County, and I gotta go all the way back to Atlantic County. So I'm like, okay, it's one of those days. But I got there and my lawyer had came down, and I'm like, I thought court was like a month next month. He like, no, you want a plea cut off? I'm like, a plea cut off? So I'm like, what is a plea cut off? He He like either you take the 15 or you go to trial, and if you lose, it's 30 years. So I'm like, what? Now my like I felt like everything just came out of my body, like everything. I was like, what? So I'm like, is you serious? He like, yeah. This is today that this is what you gotta do. So I'm sitting down in them cells, and I'm just sitting there like what? Like I'm going to jail. I'm about to go to jail for 15 years for something I ain't do, something I ain't see, or something I ain't witness, and this is not okay with me. So I'm like, I'm sick, but I get up there and like I felt like my mom has always been my rider, but I felt like once I got up there, it was like she like go to trial. I'm not gambling my life. That's how I felt. I'm
Mm.
not gambling my life. I was crying. I was upset. Yes, I was hurt. The thoughts that was in my mind was crazy. But I was like, I'm going to take the 15. I'm not going nobody trial. I'm
Wow.
not. So I took the 15. The positive thing out of the 15 that I kept saying in my mind was like, all right, I got 4.5 years in. I gotta go back and see, get the time sheet to see what is 15 with 85 and what time do I have left from out of the four that I already did.
Mm. And what was that when you did the accumulation? Like, what did that come to?
So I had to do like not 8.5 years.
Mm. What happened when you really had to break this information to your daughter? Like, how was that?
So the thing was, my daughter was 3 when I got locked up. So about time going like the court, she was like 7.
Mm-hmm.
Like I never had a time to really talk to her because I felt like she was young and she didn't understand um what was going on. So like I never really spoke to her like at that
Okay.
time about anything.
Okay. So then now you get to prison, state prison, and they talk about like that first night is the toughest night in there. Like, what was when you knew you had to do the aid and they finally sent you where you was going? How was that first night in an establishment?
My nerves is already bad going down there because I'm still in disbelief. But once I got down there, I was so confused because I get to like the medical part where I have to go in, I gotta do all of this. Um, and I'm looking, I see females, but I also see females that look like men with beards
Mm.
and everything. So I'm like, is this a men and female? I never. I'm like, is this a men and female? I just started crying because I'm like, what is going on in here? So I'm still confused. But like that happened, and then we go to reception. Where reception is just like it's like like bunk beds. You in there with everybody, and majority of them looked like men, like
Mm.
baggy clothes, beards, dreads long, and I'm like, I'm in here with. Then I come to realize I'm like, oh no, they females but they boys, like
Mm.
so. I'm like, this is like it was unbelievable. Like I just could not believe that I was in prison. I'm in a unit where it looked like all men. I'm like, this you can't make this up. Like I was scared to go to sleep because it's like I don't know what's going on.
Mm.
I don't know what's going on. It was just like I was just more so like depressed. And I got more depressed and I got more depressed because it just was like, and I'm really here and I have to do this time.
When did everything sink in?
I want to say like a month of being here,
Mm.
a month of being here. Because the routine was like the same thing every day.
Take us through that routine. What happens? Like, give us one day of like what happens.
So you just like, well, you're not locked in rooms. You just there, like you inside your cell, well, your little room area. But as females, we different, so there's a lot of things we could do. So my month there, I was signing up for like school. I was signing up for like
Mm.
any program, like because you wake up and you just outside. Y'all just outside. Even though you're getting fresh air, you outside, you relax, you could work out. You it's things to do, but I felt like I already lost myself. I felt like I'm not worth this, like worth nothing. And I'm
Mm,
like, I have to do something for me not to be isolating myself and be stuck doing all this time with just not not being knowledgeable of things, not grasping the positive things. Even though we're in prison, they still have things for us to do. So I signed up for everything now.
mm, So you had classes and things of that
So I
nature, like.
started. So they had like they started college classes down there, which I was going to Princeton. Princeton came, and it was Essex County. So I
Mm,
signed up for college classes, which I started doing college classes, but I also was doing the like it was like this program where like if somebody pass out, you come bring the stretcher, the wheelchair, things like that.
mm,
I had
mm-hmm,
signed up for that. And I also was just working as like mowing along, cutting grass, taking trash, buffing, painting, things like that to keep my mind not just
mm,
stuck.
mm.
It's
How
easy
was
for you
the? Go ahead.
to
Go
get
ahead.
stuck in there. It's easy for you to get stuck and
Mm.
stuck into the bullshit that goes on. So I left all that alone and focused on things that I know can help me outside of it. Outside of it.
When your family came to visit, if they came down there and stuff, like how tough was it during like for the visit, especially when it was time to leave?
It's hard. Like I had business with my daughter once a month. They had a program down there for parents that could bring their Title 20, where they could bring they pick your kid up from like the
Mm-hmm.
Salvation Army. So once a month I had a visit with my daughter. But like when they come to visit, like I'm seeing my grandmother that's 90 come to visit. I see, my best friends come to visit. Um, and walking away from them, it's like,
Yeah.
damn, like cause you so confined that you don't see the street, you don't see nothing. So it's just like, I just want to come with you. Like, I'm sick of being locked up. I'm sick of, like having visits and I'm going back, and then some visits is not good visits. You got somebody pass. This happened.
Mm.
Brother got shot. You get bad news sometimes at visit, and it only puts you in a space where you like, damn, how many people I'm gonna lose when I leave out of here. Like, I'm not gonna see my grandfather. I'm not gonna see this person. I'm not gonna see these all people I've seen before I left. So
Mm.
it's like, damn, can I come with you? Like, I'm tired of seeing the visit. I'm tired of y'all leaving, and I still gotta be here.
When did you start seeing the light at the end of the tunnel while being in there?
So I got in a couple fights and shit down there. So like like I supposed to have been went down to like the place where you go to half about to go to halfway house. I kept fighting or something happened. So when I finally end up going down to the grounds part where it's no gates, it's no nothing, like you see the street a little bit. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I end up going down there, and I end up in a program where like 3 days out of the week we was able to go outside throughout the New Jersey and talk to schools like for young kids that was doing opiates or any type of drug. So like it was a couple of us that always went out and talked about our story and try to help other kids see like this is where you end up if you keep on going down this path. So once I started going out like that, then I knew that my time was ticking for me to get out of there.
How did it feel when you was in there, like telling your story and like helping those kids?
So it just felt great because we never had them type of role models to really like speak on their past or what happened.
Mm,
Like we grew up where you can't talk about what happened. I can't
mm,
tell you what I went through. I
mm,
can't tell you what happened to me. Like you got to keep that to yourself. So if we had them type of people in our environment, some people wouldn't be, down the wrong path. If you just had somebody to really like be real with you and tell you like this is what happened. So talking to the kids it helped because like now y'all at an age where I can talk to you, but I'm in the shoes of what's going on now. If if I could talk to you and I could tell you my story or this happened, associate yourself with people that don't mean no good and you end up in a situation like this. Are we standing up on a stage in khakis?
Mm.
We ain't got clothes on. We ain't got sweats. We in khakis talking to these kids.
Mm.
So I wanted, like always, to think like I hope my story did touch somebody when we did go talk. But that was a part of freedom for me to see like I did all this time and now I'm a step away from being outside the door.
Take me to that one little girl that you shared a little bit about with me when you talked to her. Take me to that one little girl.
So it was one day we went out to talk to the eighth graders in Rockaway. So basically we talking to them. It was a big opiate epidemic in their school. They eighth graders, they young, like they doing heroin, they doing pills. We end up talking to the whole eighth graders, and then they had like a meet and greet with us, going into the office and talking to um, kids. So it was just one girl. She was just sitting there. She was so tough, but you could see the pain and hurt in her eyes. Like
Mm.
she wouldn't really say too much, and the teachers and principals kept saying like it's something going on with her. Like her grades changed. She was like she had good grades. It changed. She started acting out and things like that. And I'm sitting in front of her, and I'm looking at her, and I'm like, listen, I'm like, talking to her, but I'm like, what's going on? There's something going on in your household to make you, change, switch up. And she was like, yeah. And the teacher
Mm.
was looking like she'll never talk. We don't know what's going on. So she was going through a lot of abusive stuff in the household where she wasn't with her mom no more. A family member was taking care of her. They wasn't feeding her like they was feeding their kids. They was treating her like she wasn't family or she wasn't part of their, family. So like she was getting hand me down. She wasn't coming to school looking the way she was looking before she got with them. So she was going through a lot of stuff at home, and I had to explain to her like, when you in here, these teacher is helpful. This is your safe place. Like whatever goes on in your house, you should be able to come and talk to them, and they'll be able to help you. If you don't speak up, how do they know what's going on? I said you have to say what's going on in order for people to help you. Like that's why they're here. Like sometimes we don't think that a teacher or somebody's gonna help. There's always gonna be somebody's gonna help you in that environment. But she started crying. She started, saying what happened, and the principal, was like, they let us talk and let us sit there, but you could tell when somebody broken because you've been through the same stuff that person
Mm.
in front of. It's like you looking in the mirror. The same
Did you,
attitude she had, I had.
did you know at that moment that God had gave you that special gift to be able to pull that information out of
Mhm,
somebody like her?
mhm.
How did it feel on the way back after that encounter with her?
Like I was drained, but I was sad because it was like it's still gonna happen.
Mm.
Like it's still gonna happen
Mm.
because even though she touched the surface right now, she still had to stay in this household where if she say something, who knows if the abuse gonna get worse. So
Wow.
I was always thought about that little girl because she really was broken and she was afraid to speak up because she knew if she did, it would be a consequence. So like I was like, dang, like she don't have nobody outlet, and school is
Mm.
not an outlet, which like mine was, and it wasn't for her.
Now it's time to get released. Like, take me to the moment, like when you got the news or you knew you was going home. Like, how was that feeling? Like the emotions. Like, just take me through it.
So um, at this point, when I was about to get released, I was going to Rutgers and Newark.
Okay.
So I knew my days was come. I knew the days was count. It was a countdown. But the more it kept getting close, the more I got bubble guts. The more
Mm.
I couldn't eat. The more I couldn't sleep. Like it was
Mm.
like I was afraid. Even though
Mm.
I'm happy, but I was afraid because I've been locked up for so long. I don't know how to do this. I don't know how to do that. I don't know who is who no more. I don't know like how people feel because I'm coming home. So it was a lot of things on my mind because it was just like, all right, what am I going to do and how I'm going? I haven't been in society long enough, even though I was in a halfway house long enough to really like be out free
Mm-hmm.
and people seeing and being around people. So I was like, I was happy, but I still was like fearful.
Mm. So on the day you get released, like who came to get you? How did you get home? Like, and then what happened when you touched ground back in Asbury Park?
So my mom and my aunt came and got me. And like I was shaking.
Mm,
I was shaking. Like shaking and was like she was like, why are you shaking? I'm like, I'm scared. Like I was
mm,
young when I went into jail. I was 18. I'm now 30 something. I'm coming home. Like
mm,
I was scared, and I also have a child that is almost 18. You know, like so.
mm,
It was
mm,
a lot of things that I'm like, so what am I going to do? I'm in college still. How am I gonna get back up here? It was so much that was in my head, and I end up in the car, and I was just like on Parkway, just looking like damn, like I'm really home, like I'm really free. Like you remember your first day going in, and you remember the first that day leaving out of there. Like you would never
mm,
forget them days, them 2 days. But like driving, and once I got into like to home, it was just like everything looked different. It was buildings
mm,
I ain't never seen. It was buildings broke down that it was just so much. But then once I come in, I'm like, okay, like I can't go see my grandfather when that raised me, like, cause he dead. Like it was like, so I think we went to a store and I just kept looking. I was looking over my shoulder. Like anybody walk in, I'm like, like
yeah,
my mom like, ain't nobody gonna get you. I'm like, listen, I don't know what's going on out here. I ain't been out here. I
yeah,
don't know. So I isolated for like a year. Like I ain't
mm,
really come outside like that. Like mm-mm. My nerves was really, really bad.
mm. Then you start doing. How was the dynamic with your daughter when you got home?
To be honest, I didn't know how to be a mother
Mm,
because she was 3 when I left.
mm,
Even though, I made sure and when I was in prison, I always sent her something. She always came, but I didn't know how to be a mom. I didn't know how to show her my feelings to her. I didn't know how to love her because I was always taught being tough, and then I'm coming out of a prison mentally abused, mentally drained. Like so, nobody never knew or understood that I came straight into taking care of kids and try to help out, but no, I felt like nobody cared about my pain or me
mm,
healing or me going through trying to get through what I just went through throughout these years. So with our relationship, I felt like I didn't have a relationship with her. I felt like she was angry at me, even though she still came. I felt like she hated me at one point. I felt like, like I put her in that situation, but I
mm,
also was in my head like, I'm not going to allow your feelings to make me feel like I got to do this, I got to do that. Yes, I lost time out. Yes, I'm here to gain it, but in the midst, I couldn't take care of my child because I'm taking care of my sister kids too, and I don't want
mm,
nobody to feel like I'm doing more for this person, more for that person when I'm really supposed to be building my relationship back up with my child. So it was like a strain on our relationship.
mm.
It was a strain on our relationship real bad.
How did you, with all of this stuff being thrown at you and you coming home and you feel like all the pressures of the world on you, like, how did you get through that? How didn't you just start like using drugs or alcohol? Because a lot of people, when they in that kind of situation, they want to escape. And they like, man, I just got to go do this. I'm just about going to get high or drunk or just like sink.
So I feel like parole saved me.
Mm,
Parole saved me. Parole was my structure. That
mm,
really what kept me on a right path of not drinking, not turning my pain into picking up a bottle.
mm,
First of all, my family are addicts, so that's something that I won't even like try to do because the mental of that, I feel like I'll be stuck somewhere with a needle or
yeah,
something, right? So
yeah.
I felt like being on parole, it it put me in a structure where I can't do this. I know I gotta do this. I'm timid, and then not only that, it was more so like school. I just started going head on into school, like
The comeback.
Yeah, so I had to really put all that into school.
Mm. Take me to those degrees that you got, like, and what made you pick those majors that you picked.
So when I first came home, I was still in Rutgers, but I was going back and forth to Newark. But then it was like
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get closer to here because it was like I'm on a train every day all day. Then I end up in Brookdale, Rutgers. Um, I end up graduating with my associates. I want to say 2 years, a
Mm-hmm.
year and some change of being home, and then the pandemic happened, so school stopped.
Mm-hmm.
I started doing real estate.
Mm-hmm.
I took the exam for the real estate. I passed the exam for the real estate. I started. I stopped, and then I went back to school. So in the midst of that, I was going through a lot of mental health, a lot,
Mm.
um, and I never really spoke about it. And I felt like people wanted me to be strong, but nobody knew the depths of the pain that I was going through because I
Mm-hmm.
had it. I still pushed through of graduating my associate, going to Georgia Court, graduating with my bachelor's,
Mm.
and then on top of that, I didn't stop. I went and got my master's. So I picked social work because as a kid, we didn't have those type of social workers that really could advocate for you, help you with resources, anything. Just have somebody to talk to, an outlet to talk to, and let them know,
Mm-hmm.
like, listen, I'm depressed. I have anxiety. I'm going through this. I'm going through that. How can you help me? We didn't have them type of resources where we was able to talk to our social workers. Now
Wow.
it starts from when you were a kid. So if a lot of kids had that type of person in their life, I feel like some people's lives would be different because even if you are having problems at home, you have an outlet of somebody that really care and empathize
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
actually you feel. So I picked that not only because of that, like I said, my family are addicts, some of them, and just to see them struggling with addiction and people quick to judge, but I don't know what they went through. I don't know their
Mm-hmm.
I don't know
Mm-hmm.
their pain. I don't know their trauma. I don't know when did it start because at this point it started at a young age or it started somewhere. Something triggered them. So it was like seeing them made me like okay, like this is I want to help others that I see going through the same thing that I'm witness at a young age, walking around seeing needles outside, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So now that was like my major, like that's what I want to go for.
Then you get out, and I met you working at New Hope and stuff, and then seeing the kind of work you do with the clients in the detox, and some of those clients get out of there. And how is it when you see the fruits of your works? Because um God always says that you could tell a person by seeing the fruits of their works. You know what I mean? Like, so when you see that client that's out there now that's sober, and they remember your counseling sessions, and you got a tough one because a lot of times the people that you're dealing with, I've been to detox twice, and we don't be that coherent when we in detox. Like it was like when I was in detox, right? I went to rehab after that, and people was coming up to me that was in detox with me that I ain't even remember who they was. So we
Mm-hmm.
not even that coherent when we in there. So talk about first the patience that you had to develop as a counselor in the detox, and then how is it seeing the fruits of those people when they're sober and now they're productive members of society.
So, so like before I started working as a counselor in detox, like I was at Epiphany House.
Okay.
So
Okay.
being at Epiphany House, you see people, you see them they come from New York detox and rehab, and they come to Epiphany House. So being there, I was there as a TA for 5 years. Like now, like as the time go by, you see people struggling. You see these females where they like, I don't want to be here. You see them at their worst part, like they
Mm-hmm.
angry, but they're not detoxing. They're not in rehab. They at the next stage, the next level of their sobriety. But what I witnessed is like certain people that was in in these places like Sherelle, Sally, Chelsea, like it's a couple of people that you see that's out that still is doing positive things, still is in recovery, still
Mhm.
didn't fall back into that addiction. But
Mhm.
to see them and to see from where they started to where they at
Mhm.
now,
Mhm.
it's a
Mhm.
beautiful thing to see because I still check up. Like, what's up? How y'all doing?
Mm.
What's going on? Y'all,
Mm.
but you see them grow into these beautiful person and women that they was the whole time, but drugs and drinking,
Mhm.
you know, steered them into a different direction. So going there and seeing them, I'm seeing them when they've been through all that.
Mhm.
They so now once I get the counsel position and go to detox, this is a whole nother level
100%.
of
100%.
a whole nother
100%.
level, which I really love detox, but the things that you witness, you see them at their worst. You see them at the rock bottom. You see these clients when they come to detox where like you feel like they are need a mental help or need a hospital or anything else. But this is where it starts. You go back to like children. They back as
Mhm.
children. We see
Oh,
them back
that's
to where they
deep.
started at. Even though they're adults, but they in detox, they as children. We gotta treat them as children. We can't treat them as
Mm.
adults because as of right now, y'all not adults. Your minds are not fixated on the grown things. Y'all back
Mhm.
at this child age. So you seeing them going through the withdrawal. You see them going through this. Their attitudes are out of control. But when
Mhm.
you have that compassion towards helping somebody,
Mhm.
sometimes they just go out the window. You
Fact.
struggle. It's a struggle. It's mentally draining, baby. Don't get it
Yeah.
wrong. Don't get it messed up.
Yeah.
But I know that that's not them. When they walk in the door,
Mm.
they cussing you, fucking you off, or saying this, or
Mhm.
oh, I want to. I know that's just their detox and their an addiction. So once the 2 or 3 days go past,
Mhm.
you see a whole totally different person. But that's the worst part that is draining. If that's something that you don't want, that you can't handle, then you can't handle it.
Mm.
Because it's easy for somebody to say, you know what, F y'all, I'm good, I can't deal with this. But you
Mm.
gotta understand and see that these are they back in child mind,
Mm.
like
That's
they don't
deep.
know no better.
That's
These
deep.
people are homeless. These people that been on the streets. These people been using for years. These people been like struggling. So who am I to come in here and dampen somebody that's going through that? I need the
Wow.
help. You gotta have
That's
a
deep.
resource. So many people don't have a resource, and so many people don't know how to get a resource or what's next because they never had that certain person that say, listen, go into this detox, do this, go to rehab, get help. Nobody has them saying that. You have your parents still saying, oh, y'all just addicts, or this person think you're addicts. They already got low self-esteem. They already
Mhm.
here. They ain't showering. They don't know how to feel to have a bed or a meal. So it's just like,
Mhm.
like you deal with the attitude. Detox is the worst place to really counsel that. But like I said, you gotta have that strength and that willpower that really like dive deep and really help these they sick and suffering.
All right. If you could rewind the hands of time and going back to that decision that was made in terms of you standing tall with not talking about what happened when the police and stuff like that. Do you regret that decision?
I regret leaving my child.
Mm.
I regret leaving the young woman that I was, that I
Mm.
lost on everything that a young woman is supposed to go through in life.
Mm.
Um, I lost out on a lot of stuff, but I can't say that I regret anything because God put me in that situation for a reason. I don't
Mm.
know the reason, and maybe I could have been dead. Maybe I wouldn't be still here. It's things that I think about that. I regret just being a loyal friend that to the wrong people.
Mm.
Because today, them friends that the good friends are still here.
Talk
We
about it.
see them every day.
Talk about it.
We doing
Um,
positive things. Everybody doing positive things. So it's just like I regret of my loyalty to the wrong people.
one of the toughest things I had to do, and you probably went down that road yourself, was forgive yourself. How long did you get to that point of doing that, and how long do it did it take? And do you remember the moment when you was like that you finally was able to forgive yourself?
Hmm. I want to say I'm still struggling with forgiving myself.
Mm.
That's a everyday struggle.
Why?
Yeah. Because I feel like my actions, the things I did, my behaviors and stuff, led me on this path. Um, and I know right from wrong, and I could have changed that, but it happened. I forgive some of me, but not
Mm-hmm.
all of it.
Mm.
So
Mm.
I'm
Yeah,
still struggling with little things like that.
you got to give yourself a break, because I remember being in that situation, and not like exactly what you went through, and it was
Mm-hmm.
tough for me to forgive myself. But what I came to understand is those 10 years of all of the stuff that I went through, when I
Mm-hmm.
go out and speak, um, that 10 years of experience, say like it's 100 people in the room, that 10 years of experience gives my story a chance to touch a different person in that room.
Mm-hmm.
So the work that you doing, the work that you did when you was in that prison program out there touching those kids, the work that you did when you got out of prison, the work that you doing in New Hope, the work you did in the Epiphany House, like that experience that you have going through that, that's what's touching all of those women.
Yeah.
That's what's touching all of those women. And that's why you got to forgive yourself, because you on the path of redemption right now. You know what I'm saying? Like the other day, I did a video talking about, because I don't have no biological kids myself, but
Mm-hmm.
I did a video saying, I was talking to this brother at my church one day, and I told him how selfish and self-centered I was, and that's why I never had my own kids, because I didn't want nobody to tell me that I couldn't party or I couldn't do what I wanted to do. But he told me, he said, you was a teacher for mad years. You worked at school-based youth service. You was a teacher. You did basketball spotlight. You did Metro Hoops. These big, huge basketball companies that service thousands and thousands of kids. Now you work at New Hope with kids. You did. He said, "Do you think you would have put all that in all those different kids if you had your own?" You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that really let me see the big picture of that. He used me to do some stuff that I wouldn't have did. Like the
Mm-hmm.
lives that you touching and the things you doing, you might have just went to school to be a business person, and you would
Yeah.
have had your real estate. You would have been making mad bread. You would have been chilling. But now you changing lives.
Yeah.
So you got to cut yourself some slack. Like put away the put away the bad and take out the feather. You know what I'm saying? Right now, your story, what you talking about now, is gonna touch a lot of women out there. You know what I'm saying? That's been through this situation. So that's what brings me to the final question. If you were sitting face to face with the younger Cassey, and you having a conversation with her, who you are now, and she's 13 or 14, and she's thinking about going off the porch, what's that conversation like?
Mm. That's a deep question. Conversation is, um, be mindful of the people that you surround yourself with.
Mm,
Everybody is not good for you. Um, you know, you can differentiate who is for you and who is not.
mm-hmm.
And, don't lose yourself. Give yourself, you are worth something, and give yourself the strength to keep pushing and not give up, or not
Mm-hmm.
easily to, take your frustration, your angers out on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't out on nobody else, it's on yourself. You
Mm.
gotta become the woman that you want to become.
Mm. So I want to thank you, sis, for coming on. I told you was gonna make it through. You was nervous.
Oh,
You made
what?
it do. You did a great job.
Yeah.
When I get done, I'm gonna send the video to my app that do the clips. The clips are gonna come out fast, and then I'm gonna see you. You're gonna see me posting. I'm kind of a maniac when it comes to posting, so you're gonna see clips all over the place from this interview. And I just want you to keep going. And like I said, forgive yourself because the path you on now, the Most High is using you to change so many lives, and you're showing the strength. And you definitely went from pain to purpose.
Yep.
So I want to thank you for taking the time to come on and helping me out when I be at work on Sundays.
So thank
All
you. Thank you for having me. And
right,
thank you
no
all
doubt,
again.
man. Thanks for coming on. Enjoy your night.
You too.
All right. Wow, powerful story, man. Got another brother coming on next week, and he has a powerful story too. I just want to thank the Most High for just allowing me to be able to put this platform together where people could come on and really show their pain, from their pain to purpose, man. And that's tough to go through. Like I said, when I first was sitting there and talking to her, because I saw her passion, and I was thinking about what I went through until I heard her story, and then it just humbled me. Like, bro, your story ain't like this. And to see like how much she cares about the clients she work with, and she go all out for them to be able to try to get better, man. It's a blessing, man. um this is Mike. I want to thank you guys that tune in or watching, and tune in next week from Pain to Purpose. Enjoy the rest of your night. Shalom.